Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Iron Torch 20, and welcome to the finale of the Let's Play Corners Portable Summer. And we are playing Castlevania Circle of the Moon for the GBA. And believe it or not, this was a launch title for the GBA, along with plenty of other games. And you can look that stuff up on Wikipedia. But here you just get to choose different data. And there are different modes that you can unlock based on what you decide to change or name your character. But since we're starting a new file, I decided to name my characters Biohazard after BattleBots, and that has more to do with the fact that Biohazard was the first one to defeat Vlad the Impaler, who was a heavyweight champion, and then until Biohazard beat him. So that's why I name all my characters Biohazard after that. So that's a fun little story, and this Let's Play is going to be full of fun little stories like that. And yeah, I mean, this is just basically the backstory of this whole game. And this is a game that's not really canon, so to say, with the Belmonts and Dracula, considering that our protagonist actually isn't a Belmont. But here we get Camilla resurrecting Dracula. I don't really know the whole deal with Camilla and what her, I guess, origins are. But, I mean, there are plenty of different theories on it. But either way, you get a whole bunch of story here. And what happened in the past was that Morris Baldwin was one of the guys that defeated Dracula. And also our protagonist Nathan Graves, his parents were part of that, I guess, crew that ended up banishing Dracula with Morris. So after a long fall, they end up going through this. And he was kind of a prick. But we are going to actually end up dealing with that pretty soon. Actually, not pretty soon, that's actually not until the end of the game. But I am giving too much away, and we have just started this Let's Play. But yeah, I mean, this controls like a basic Castlevania game. I mean, you move, you jump, you whip. And unfortunately, we're going to be moving a little slow here because I don't have the dash boots yet, but we're going to be getting that pretty soon. But either way, hearts do the same thing as they do in other Castlevania games. They give you a chance to fire your sub-weapon whenever we get the chance to actually use those things. Oh, damn, those things showed up. Yeah, what I was trying to do was I was trying to hit as many of those skeleton bombers as I could, because they do drop a certain card that is actually going to be crucial in this early part of the game. But yeah, big surprise that I am recording myself and I am not getting my hands on any of those cards. And also, kind of like Super Castlevania 4 or Castlevania Dracula X, one thing you can do is that you can hold down the B button and then just end up spinning the whip, which is going to be pretty useful for taking out those bats and also some other annoying enemies that end up going up throughout this game. And this game does feature experience and also different ways of powering up your character. So let's see, what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to go about and get certain items in order to power up Nathan, and also to make sure I can, let's see, just get stuff going early on. So I might as well just just explain this while I have the chance. Let's see, you have the strength, which is how much how much damage your attacks do. Defense, which is how much damage you take when you get hit. Obviously, the higher, the the higher your defense, the less damage you take. Intelligence is going to be used for magic, but the DSS system is a little convoluted now, but it'll make a lot more sense once we get the appropriate cards. And luck is the rate that, or it does affect the rate that enemies drop items. And right now I am not having a whole lot of luck with getting items. And see, yeah, I kind of figured that since I was recording, this was inevitable. That's just kind of how the Let's Play curse works. But here we got a wristband, and the way I can demonstrate that is, with body, it's mostly armors and robes that are going to apply to body, and for arms you can do different things, like wristbands give us better attack. So that's a nice little short-term, I guess, boost for our attack. And what I was doing before was that I'm using the slide attack as kind of a way to get around early on. And see, unfortunately we are moving kind of slow, but that is something that's going to be fixed pretty soon. And just like that, I got my first level up. And yeah, early on, sliding into enemies is going to be the easy way to do the most damage. And I am going to be looking for the Mercury card, and the reason for that is the Mercury card is going to give me the ability to power up my whip. So that's just something that's going to be essential as we move on in the castle. So yeah, I just want to demonstrate these early things, and while I'm here trying to grind for items, okay, well, we might as well save while we're here. And yeah, just like the other Metroidvania games, whenever you die, you end up going back to a possible continue or end screen, and basically what that does is that just puts you back at the last save room that you used. And yeah, I'm just trying to take out those boneheads because I am trying to get the Mercury card, as I've said earlier. And I am going to demonstrate the DSS system once I have the appropriate cards in order to use them. And see, yeah, unfortunately this first video is going to be pretty boring from a gameplay standpoint, mainly because I'm just going to be going back and forth doing the same thing over and over again, so I can get the appropriate items, because I do plan on getting every item in the game. And I also do plan on... Okay, there's the card. Let's just go ahead and take that. So now we can go ahead and demonstrate this thing, and what you do is you have to go to the appropriate cards that you want to use, and then press the L button in order to trigger these things. And once you do that, you get the or you get a fire whip because you have the Mercury card and the Salamander card equipped. You can find different elemental cards as well as different let's see, I guess Roman gods. And also most of this is going to be based off of Roman mythology, which is essentially a carbon copy of Greek mythology with different names. But that's a different story for a different time. Let's see, yeah, sub-weapons do make a return, and they are just as useful as they are in the NES Castlevania games, and also maybe Super Castlevania 4. And see, what I just took out was an Earth Demon, and I ended up getting a Magic Gauntlet, so hopefully that's going to make things a little bit easier when it comes to getting items. But one thing that's going to make things a lot easier when it comes to getting around this game is the dash boots. And the thing with the dash boots is, just like any other game, you just double tap in order to dash. And yeah, there are going to be plenty of demons, just like this one. Whether or not it's fire, ice, wind, earth. there are going to be plenty of guys like this. But I'm going to go ahead and kill this guy over and over again so I can get a different elemental card. And just like I said before, I do plan on getting every card and every item in this game. Well, maybe not every item, but I do plan on showing off a lot in this game. I mean, this is a great game. I might as well do it some justice and show off as much as I can. And yeah, unfortunately, with the way this Let's Play is gonna go, there's gonna be a lot of me going back and forth, just killing the same enemy over and over again. Just in order to make sure I end up getting the appropriate item. I just mistimed that. Yeah, that's the tricky thing with some of those demons, is that they can take some very irregular patterns, and they can just also cause a lot of troubles where there don't need to be problems. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and kill this guy over and over again until I get the appropriate item I'm looking for. It's actually the serpent card, so I'll just see it when I'm done. Alright, got it. So now we got the serpent card, and what the serpent card is, it's going to be an ice elemental. So what that's going to do is, that's going to enable us to freeze enemies and use them as platforms later on. So that's going to be really useful when it comes to certain parts of this game that are going to require us using enemies to jump across and also to jump on. So that's all fine and good. Let's see, these bats do respawn over and over again, so I do want to use them in order to get just in order to get another wristband. And I do want to slide through those poison worms, because the problem with those worms is that they touch you, you get poisoned, and it works pretty much the same as in Pokemon, where you do end up steadily losing HP as this game goes on, or as time goes on. And if you do slide through the poison worms, you do end up occasionally getting antidotes, which are going to be pretty useful as this whole thing goes on, because there are a lot of things, especially in Section 3, that can poison you. And when you do end up getting poisoned, that's just pretty annoying early on, especially when you don't have as much HP as you would later on in the game. And that is the thing with the Metroidvanias of the GBA variety of Metroidvanias, is that you do start off awfully weak early on, and you do end up getting stronger as the series goes on and as the game goes on. So you do use that to your advantage. Okay, there's that wristband. That's what I wanted. And one thing I should mention is that intelligence does apply to the DSS. So the more magic attacks you end up using, the more magic that uses, and intelligence helps you recover that quicker, or helps you recover the blue gauge quicker. So that's just an easy explanation for that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make my way back. We are going to figure out how to break those stones later on in the game, but unfortunately right now we can't do anything. And we got ourselves our first antidote. And we found some cotton clothes. So that's just our first form of armor, which is a freaking t-shirt. And what we should do is make the joke about I killed Dracula and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. Then again, I forgot how many other, people made that joke that said I went to this place and all I got was this lousy shirt. Then again, I don't really know why that was such a big joke. But regardless, one other thing that this game does do, similar to Symphony of the Night, is that you have hidden areas that you can access. So let's just go ahead and do that. And it is kind of random. The areas that you can access are kind of random, and it does take a lot of trial and error in order to find them. But at the same time, they do give you a lot of good items like maximum MP or maximum HP, maximum hearts. Those are definitely excellent things that you do want to have when you're trying to make it through this game, because this is not the easiest game. But at the same time, this is definitely one of the most fun games in my opinion. And this is one of my favorite games on the GBA. Actually, all three of the Castlevania games on the GBA are pretty kick-ass. And while I'm here, I probably should also give a shout out to Zin if she's watching this, which she may or may not be. And she is playing through all three of these games, actually completely blind. And she is working on Harmony of Dissonance now. She actually did beat this game and Aria of Sorrow. But I mean, I did enjoy watching the LP she made of this game, and I also did mention that I was going to be doing an LP of this game on her channel, and then just that her Let's Play was a pretty good review of what I should talk about, and also what needs to be mentioned while I end up playing this. Although one thing that is extremely annoying is a knockback. Unfortunately, that is going to be a problem as this game goes on. Let's see, yeah, the biggest thing is you just don't want to get hit by projectiles, because that's what's going to trigger the knockback the most. So let's see, is there anything here? Yeah, I am going to have to review the maps just to see where those hidden spots are. Okay, you don't need to do anything. And what I just picked up was a heart item, and what that does is you just use it to gain more hearts, which is all fine and good. I do want the axe just because I find the axe a little bit more useful than the knife. And all the basic sub-weapons from the Castlevania, or the original Castlevania games return. And the cross is definitely the only one that you ever want to have. And if you do use it properly, the cross is actually one of the most game-breaking weapons in the entire game. And I am going to demonstrate just how to break the game with it. Let's see, I just decided to pick up a few extra items. Always fine and good. And you can also use select to look at the map, just in case you wanted to know what was ahead and what you missed, and you know, all those things. So let's see, yeah, we just need to make some jumps here, and hopefully not get knocked back by these things. And the good thing about the slide attack is it does make you, or it gives you the ability to go faster in this game and also take out enemies, which is all fine and good. And also those skeletons can give me leather armor, but let's see, it is kind of an unlikely drop at this point. So let's just go ahead and save here. And I do like the way the save room is structured. I mean, I like the whole setup of that place. Let's see, what level am I at? Yeah, for the first boss, you do probably want to be at around like level 5 or so, in order to give yourself a good chance. But fortunately, I did kill so many of those earth demons that I did end up reaching level 6. So I feel like I got a pretty good shot at this. And I got some more hearts, always good. And yeah, the different sub-weapons end up using a different amount of hearts. I think the cross ends up using the most, but at the same time it is well worth it. And by the way, if you need experience, feel free to grind on these mummies. I mean, that's definitely the easiest way to gain experience right before the boss. And just like a tried and true Metroidvania, it's one of those things that does require you to have certain powers before you can advance in the game. And just like before, Metroidvanias are always closed off areas. I mean, this is actually, believe it or not, the third Konami Metroidvania that I'm covering. I mean, Ninja Turtles 3 was the second one, and then Goonies 2 was actually the first one. But now we got us our first boss, and this is going to be the Cerberus. And see, he can do different things, and one of them is pouncing my ass like that. And whenever he howls, he can do different things. Like he can summon lightning bolts. And unfortunately, those are pretty tough to avoid if you didn't know they were there. And see, that fireball attack is definitely going to be a pain to deal with. I mean, the axe is definitely going to be a good friend of yours. And you do also want to get the holy water if you can. I mean, that's also another very useful sub-weapon. But yeah, the good thing with the axe is that it does have good range. And I also do like how fast the knife goes, but then again, that's a different story for a different time. Nah, you won't get me this time. And this is one boss that is actually kind of tricky the first time you play it. Especially because some of these attacks can catch you off guard, and if you're not at the right level, these attacks can definitely do a lot of damage to you. But fortunately, I was able to pick him off with enough axes, and Cerberus is done. Now, unlike the other games, you do not get health refills after beating the boss. So what we gotta do is, we gotta make a beeline toward the nearest save room and just get my ass over there. And what I just picked up after beating the boss was the double jump, which is definitely gonna be vital towards finishing the rest of this game. Let's see, where's the save room? Alright, so now we know where to go, so let's just go ahead and get our asses over there. That is definitely not over there. But yeah, that's kind of the way you do want to play this game, because it's really not worth it to beat the boss and then get yourself killed later on. Ooh, nice, I got a robe. And the thing with the robes is that they are good for restoring your intelligence. I mean, increasing your intelligence. I mean, I don't really know why, but at the same time, that's just the logic of this game. Turned out I passed it. Go me. But yeah, what I wanted to do was I just wanted to make my way over there. Alright, now we can go ahead and save. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and call it a video, so join me next time as I explore more of this castle. See you then!